You searched the web before for the term as-built, you probably found a mix of answers that might not make a lot of sense. And I figured it would be great to talk about as-builts from a company that provide as-built drawings or an as-built service. And in case you're new to this channel, my name is Jay, and I'm the founder of As-Built LA. We're a local company in Los Angeles that help architects and interior designers with measuring, drafting, and modeling buildings. We cover Los Angeles, Ventura, Orange County, and we provide files in AutoCAD, SketchUp, and Revit format. And now, back to the video. So first thing first, let's talk about the definition. So what is an as-built? So an as-built is basically representing the existing or current conditions of a building. Often the term, the term is called, like people refer to it as built drawings, okay? And also it's known as measured or as built survey. Now, in case you're wondering who does as built drawings or who document the as built condition of a building, typically it's done by design and building pros. And recently, a lot of services have came out and specialized in this kind of service, which is to document the existing conditions of a building. So again, as-built is literally just the condition of the building, how it is right now. Now, it's different than a survey, which is, people say survey, but they often refer to land survey. The land survey often documents the features of the site or the exterior side of buildings, while as-builts often document the interior conditions of a building. So the land surveyors would give a topographic or site plan of the property, while the as-built documentation focuses on the interior layout of the building. And the thing is, land surveyors don't necessarily offer as-built drawings, meaning they don't offer to document the inside of the building, because doing a land survey anyway is basically a big task and it takes a lot of time. And of course, depending on the lot and the type of survey that you request for your project or that is required for your project, basically based on building and safety or based on the requirements of the engineers that you're working with, you will have to get different types of land survey. Now for as-builts, like I said, it has to do with the inside of the building. Some firms offer to do both, but there's not that many. And like I said, land survey typically is a lot of work, and then as-built documentation is also a lot of work. Now, so that's in terms of definition and what is an as-built in general. Now, another thing that you will find online, that there's also different times that the as-built condition of the building is documented. So generally we have right before construction and design, and then there's as-built after construction. So originally back in the day, as far as I found online when I was researching and getting into the industry, the term as-built represented documentation of the building after the builder finished the building. They would basically measure it and give a new set of drawings to show the deviation or the differences between the design drawings and the final product that is delivered to the property owner. Okay, but nowadays as-built is more often referring to basically documenting the current condition of the building before any design or construction work happening. And why is that? A lot of residential buildings across the US, the records of these buildings are not found. Basically, the city that might not have them, or the architects and the designers that did them are not around anymore or don't have the files and lost them. And homeowners or the property owners will have to basically request a new set of drawings to document how the building is currently looking like. Not to mention, a lot of times, some property owners, they do additions and they don't apply for a permit, whether they knew or not. But there's a lot of, usually, even if a property owner has a set of drawings for their building, there's a good chance that they don't match the design drawings, or the design drawings that the owners have don't match the conditions of the building as it currently stands, which is why a lot of architects and designers in general require that someone goes out and measure the building, or they go and measure it themselves. So before construction, nowadays, when a designer talks about that we need to do the as-builts, they're often referring to documenting the building before doing any construction or design work, and then as-built after construction typically is done by contractors and builders. And it's pretty common in commercial buildings versus residential because it's an added cost. From the contractors and designers we worked with, not that many would document the building after they finished the design, and a lot of homeowners on the residential side would rather save a couple $1,000s on the quotes from the builders, so they would rather not document how the building or final product came out to be. But in terms of commercial buildings, it's often required by owners because these plans of the as-built after the construction, they're very important because sometimes you need to build a map to manage the facility and then to draw the fire evacuation plan. Maybe that's part of the architect's job. Sometimes they would provide that, or the designer responsible or working on the project. But it's very important because there's software to manage the buildings, and then that's why the as-built becomes important after the construction. And like I said, it's often required when doing commercial project. Anyhow, that was it for this video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment, or you can reach out to us on email, phone, or text. See you in the next one.